Hello everyone, let's continue the dungeon crawler game. Last time we improved the initializer for the world. Um, so we're now able to define worlds like this. Um, but we didn't do much that you could directly see on the screen in terms of gameplay. So let's go back to that one. And what I want to do today is make sure that we can see which way an enemy is facing. So let's see what we currently have. We currently have the situation where this enemy is looking like it's always facing uh, facing us, which is kind of weird because it doesn't really rotate. Also, I noticed that there's something wrong with the way lights are calculated, but we can look into that in a bit. So the trick I want to use is the same one we had in the isometric game, and that is by swapping out the sprites depending on where the uh, enemy is looking and the viewpoint of the player. So what I did is I created renders of this skeleton mage like this from all four sides. And we're going to use these in the game. So let's stop this one. And let's see, we only have one currently, which means we also need the other ones. I'll just import them all, although we won't be doing animation today. Let's just add the sprites anyway, so we have them. We have them all. So the file names of these sprites is the name of our mob, the skeleton mage, the animation name, these are all idle, then the rotation, and then a frame number. Okay. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to go into where we're determining what texture to load. Here it is always the this file, and I guess what we need to do is make sure that this becomes something we can change on the fly. So let's see. So what if we take we have a texture name, and this is something that we calculate. So we determine texture name for an enemy, and our viewpoint will pass in as well. And then we need to obviously need to create this function. And this returns indeed a string. So what we'll do is we'll take a texture name, a base name, in this case, a skeleton mage idle. At the end, we will return the texture name, but in between, we add rotations to this one and stuff like that. So what we could do is this: we could say that our rotation suffix will switch on the enemy's heading. Does an enemy have a heading? I guess it doesn't. And our party heading. So our enemy needs a heading, And for now, let's just assume it's always looking to the east. So then we should be able to see the difference on the screen. Wait a minute, it's probably easier because we start out facing north. Let's do north as well, meaning we're facing the same direction. And that means that if we're both facing north, north, then the result will be 180 degrees because we want to see the enemy on the backside. Look, because we're facing the same direction, we see the backside of the enemy. And as default, let's. What can we do? Oh, but we don't do anything, and we return the texture name plus the rotation suffix. And we also need to add an animation frame. So this will be 0 for now, and then we return the texture name. So if we now build and run, we should see the back of the enemy, and this is a compass direction. Okay, so we're looking into the back of the enemy currently. And we get an error when we try and load one that doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist because we have an incorrect texture name, and that's because we're in the default case. So we should think about a couple of more cases. So what if the enemy is looking south, but we're still looking north? Then we're at 0 degrees, so we're facing opposite to each other. And we can check that one if we take our enemy and go look east. Oh, I'm sorry. If it looks south. And now it's facing us. And what if it's looking east? Now we need to do it's a bit of a gamble. So let's try 90 degrees and see if that's the correct one. I don't think this is correct. I expected to watch the other way, but that's why this is sort of a bit of trial and error. Once we have pattern, it becomes a bit easier. So now it's looking the other way, and meaning that if it looks to the west, it should be 90 degrees. Take our enemy. So if it look west, and now it's indeed looking the direction we expect. Something similar we can do for the case where we are looking to the west ourselves. What if it's looking west as well? Then again, we expect 0 degrees. So because we're watching the same direction, so then I would expect to see the back of the enemy. Let's try this. I need to be a bit careful how I rotate. So now we see the back, but if we turn back, at least you see it's sort of looking the same direction. And course, there's here also a case that we look the opposite direction. So this is east, and then that 0 degrees. Meaning our enemy should look east. Okay, so this works. And of course, we also have the case that it's looking north. Now it becomes a bit of, I guess, a bit again a bit of a gamble which one is the correct one. So let's try 270. And otherwise, it's 90. So it's looking the correct way. It's still looking the correct way, meaning we also know that the other case where it's looking south will be 90 degrees. Now, okay. Now I propose I pause the video and add the remaining cases myself offline, because I guess you understand the principle, and I guess it's a bit boring to see the other 8 cases added where there's more or less more of the same. So be right back. Okay, I added the missing cases, so we can now look again all directions, although we can't see the because of where the enemy is placed, we can't see it from all sides. So we need to also move it a bit. So let's go to where we position the enemy. And it looks like it gets positioned in a fixed position. What I would say is we have our enemy. And I think it's actually, let's see, this is a start position. Oh, there are now 2 enemies, so we should see another one, but we don't, and that's because this render enemy isn't working correctly. So the reason is the position where we're placing this enemy is hard-coded, and what we should do is we should take our enemy, position to sim3 plus we still need to offset it. Let's see if we now see 2. Now there are 2. We can look at them this one from this side and turn around. Look at from this side and from this side. And let's see what happens if we rotate our enemy. Let's see, it's looking east. Now they're looking the other way, and we can now walk around them in a meaningful fashion and look at them from all sides. Also, I notice now that it seems that the lighting is fixed, and I assume that's because of the fact that we are now rendering 2 instead of 1. Okay, let's see. So we solved those 2 problems. We can look at them from all sides now. One final thing I want to do is I want to cache these textures, because we're switching around each time, and now we're currently loading them each time. So what I would like to do is create sort of a texture cache. that takes a name for the texture and maps to a texture. Again, what is the type? Oh, it's called a texture resource, I'm sorry. And now we should be able to create a function. Something like load sprite texture with name. And this returns material parameters dot texture. Oh, wait a second. Maybe that is the type we need. So if we already have it in our cache, then we just return the texture. Otherwise, we create a texture resource. And we transform this into a texture. We add it to the cache. Otherwise, the cache will never do anything. And we return texture. And now we don't need this one anymore. We can say here, load sprite texture with the texture name. And I think the rest can still remain the same. And the functionality still works. Let's see if there's anything specific in our tech tab that we can do. Oh, initializer we already fixed. I don't think there's anything else we want to do right now. What we could do is create, I think we can create a test for that does the texture name determination, although that quickly becomes sort of a repeat of this lookup table we have here. So I don't think that's valuable at this time. It'll probably be more valuable once we also add in the frames and maybe the name of the enemy. So I'll think about that for a bit and maybe we do circle back there next time. For now, I think this is it. Thanks for watching and have a great day.